Hi, I'm Monica Chavez with House of Esperanza. Today we're going to be making these house-shaped shelves. I like to use these to display my handmade heirloom dolls. Oh, they're almost like dollhouse shelves, but you can use them in your home to display anything that you'd like. And what I love most about this project is you can customize it any which way that you choose to, whether it's painting, staining, different sizes, small, large. You can vary the thickness of the wood that you use, like I did here. You can paint the inside, you can paint the outside. The possibilities are endless, and that's why this is one of my favorite projects. Now, for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to be using a board in Select Pine so that it's free of any large knots or imperfections. Also, if I wanted to leave it natural without painting or staining, I could and it'll still look good. This is a 1x4, which is what this one is here. I like this size just for a general purpose for this type of project. I've got my supplies set up. First things first, safety. I've got my gloves and my safety glasses. Anytime you're using power tools of any kind, or any tools really, you want to make sure you're reading the safety precautions and taking whatever action and wearing whatever gear you need to. I'm going to be using my 18 gauge nailer and some wood glue to put this all together. Now the wood glue does most of the heavy lifting and the brad nails keep it together until the glue dries. I've got my tape measure, my marking tool, and I've got my miter saw set up to get these angled cuts. But if you do not have a miter saw, you could use a circular saw as well because it does have the ability to bevel and get this angle here. Let's get started. Now this project is super simple by design. I wanted you to be able to do it regardless of skill level or tool knowledge. All the angles you see here are 45-degree angles. And if you're not sure what an accurate 45-degree angle is or what it looks like, grab your speed square. This is a 45-degree angle. And you can double check when you put it up to your little house and check your angles. We're gonna start, for the purposes of this tutorial and to keep it super simple, we're gonna start with the top, with the pitched roof portion and work our way down. Like I said, these are 45-degree angles here, and they meet in a unique way here. We'll get to that later. We're gonna cut these two boards here. All right, now we've got our two boards that are gonna make up our little roof here. And they meet there to create essentially what is a 90-degree angle, but we're just gonna turn it this way. And you can see that the cuts are also on the sides here. Now this measurement, you can make it any measurement you want. I went 6 inches from long end to long end. And this is what I got. Now, the longer you go on your measurements and your cuts, the wider and taller the top portion of your house is going to be. So now let's get the sides cut. Now we've got our side pieces cut. The most important part here is that they be exactly the same in measurement. We've got our angles cut, and you can see they're basically copies of each other. Now, I said this is fail-proof. You can make these any length you want. You can make that shelf tall or short. You can even pivot in the moment if while you're cutting you make a mistake or you decide that you want it to be a different length. You can do so while you're doing it. Now we've got our sides, we've got our angles, and these are gonna go just like so. And now that we have our roof mocked up here and we have our sides done, we can get an accurate measurement of our bottom piece. And that's why we worked our way from the top down. You're not going to waste any material now that we know exactly what we need for the bottom, and it's just a simple cut to make. We got our last piece cut, just a simple board, and this ended up being 8 inches exactly from end to end. So it's going to come on here. Let me give you an overhead view. So we've got what essentially will be our roof. We've got our side pieces and we have our bottom piece. Now for assembly purposes, we are going to once again do the top first and then get the side pieces in, and then we'll get the bottom piece on. We're going to apply glue at every seam and then pop a couple of nails to hold them while the glue dries. Like I had mentioned before, the glue does most of the heavy lifting in this project. It creates the ultimate bond between the two pieces of wood right at the seam. I'm using a little silicone brush to get the wood glue spread out evenly. Here we go. I'm going to use the help of some painter's tape to hold the seam together while I'll nail it together. That way it doesn't move around on me. Here we go. This is my 18 gauge brad nailer. I am going to use nails that are twice in length as the width of my board. Since these are 1x4s essentially, this is 3/4 inches wide actual. I'm going to use 1.5 inch nails. I am also going to use the help of my clamp. It's an extra set of hands like you saw me using with the miter saw, and it keeps me safe. Just like that. And I shot directly through the tape here, simply peel it off. Got our roof done, let's get our sides. The 90-degree angles at the bottom and the 45-degree angles with the short side on the outside. And the roof is going to sit on top like so. It's a unique way of putting the seams together. It's aesthetically pleasing. I really like this look. It's quite different. So let's get these together. Actually, let me show you a different view. And just like before, we're going to use some glue, our clamp, put these together before popping some nails in. You're good to go. Next side. Now to get the bottom piece on. Perfect fit. And just like that, we have our new shelf. All it took was some wood glue, brad nailer, less than 4 feet of wood, and an afternoon we were able to DIY this. Now you can display anything that you like I mentioned before. I love these in kids' rooms. I use them in my creative spaces to display the things that I hand make myself. You can mount a picture hanger to the top back here and mount it onto a wall, or leave them as is on a countertop, or a mantle, a centerpiece even. It'd be great for the holidays. Now I get to decide if I'm going to stain or paint or leave them as is. I'm kind of liking how they look just like this. If you decide to tackle this project, don't forget to share. Tag me, I would love to see what you create. Thank you for spending time with me today.